I am back. I'm going to finish up chapter 22. I watched the end of it and edited it, or went to go do a little annotation or whatever, and found that I did not get through it, so we are finishing it up because we need to finish it. So, we're at the part where she was saying that she spread her fingers. Let's see. I'm very sorry, but I don't want to. Okay. I'm going to go back to the part where it says, as we ate. No. Hush, Stephanie. She brings them inside. But we understood when she cut from the big cake and gave the slice to Jim. We'll go back to that. As we ate, we sensed that this was Miss Maudie's way of saying that as far as she was concerned, nothing had changed. She sat quietly in the kitchen chair, watching us. Suddenly she spoke. Don't fret, Jim. Things are never as bad as they seem. Indoors, when Miss Maudie wanted to say something lengthy, she spread her fingers on her knees and settled her bridge work. This she did, and we waited. I simply want to tell you that there are some men in this world who are born to do our unpleasant jobs for us. Your father's one of them. Oh, said Jim. Well, don't you well me, sir, Miss Maudie replied, recognizing Jim's fatalistic noises. You are not old enough to appreciate what I've just said. Jim was staring at his half-eaten cake. It's like being a caterpillar in a cocoon. That's what it is, he said. Like something asleep wrapped up in a warm place. I always thought making folks were the best folks in the world. At least, that's what they seemed like. We're the safest folks in the world, said Miss Maudie. We're so rarely called out to be Christians, but when we are, we got men like Atticus to go for us. Jim grinned ruefully. Wish the rest of the county thought that. You'd be surprised how many of us do, Jim. Who? Jim's voice rose. Who in this town do one thing to help Tom Robinson? Just tell me who. His colored friends, for one thing, and people like us, people like Judge Taylor, people like Mr. Heck Tate. Stop eating and start thinking, Jim. Did it ever strike you that Judge Taylor naming Atticus to defend that boy was no accident? That Judge Taylor might have had his reasons for naming him. Now this was a thought. Court-appointed defenses were usually given to Maxwell Green, Macon's latest addition to the bar, who needed the experience. Maxwell Green should have had Tom Robinson's case. You think about that, Miss Maudie said. It was no accident. I was sitting there on the porch last night waiting. I waited and waited to see y'all come down the sidewalk, and as I waited, I thought, Atticus Finch won't win. He can't win. But he's the only man in these parts who can keep a jury out so long in a case like that. And I thought to myself, well, we're making a step. It's a baby step, but it's a step. It's all right to talk like that. Can't any Christian judges and lawyers make up for the heathen juries, Jim muttered. As soon as I get grown up, well, that's something you'll have to take up with your father, Miss Maudie said. We went down Miss Maudie's cool new steps into the sunshine and found Mr. Avery and Miss Stephanie Crawford still at it. They had moved down the sidewalk and were standing in front of Miss Stephanie's house. Miss Rachel was walking toward them. I think I'll be a clown when I get grown, said Dale. Jim and I stopped in our tracks. Yes, sir, a clown, he said. There ain't one thing in this world I can do about folks except laugh, so I'm going to join the circus and laugh my head off. You got it backwards, Dale, said Jim. Clowns are sad. It's folks that laugh at them. Well, I'm going to be a new kind of clown. I'm going to stand in the middle of the ring and laugh at people. Just look yonder, he pointed. Every one of them ought to be riding broomsticks, Aunt Rachel included. She already does. Miss Stephanie, oh, just a minute. Miss Stephanie and Miss Rachel were waving wildly at us in a way that did not give the lie to Dale's observation. Oh, gosh, breathed Jim. I reckon it'd be ugly not to see him. Something was wrong. Mr. Avery was red in the face from a sneezing spell and nearly blew us off the sidewalk when we came up. Miss Stephanie was trembling with excitement, and Miss Rachel caught Dale's shoulder. You get on in the backyard and stay there, she said. There's danger coming. What's the matter, I said. Ain't you heard yet? It's all over town. Just 1 second, Mom. At that moment, Aunt Alexandra came to the door and called us, but she was too late. It was Miss Stephanie's pleasure to tell us. This morning, Mr. Bob Yule stopped Atticus on the post office corner, spat in his face, and told him he'd get it if it took him the rest of his life.